Located in the core of the Ria de Arousa, the Val do Salnes is one of the 5 subregions of the appellation of origin Rías Baixas. The name of the region comes from the salt flats, which were exploited in the Middle Ages for salting fish. More than 2,300 hectares of vineyards and wineries are concentrated here, accounting for 57% of the entire denomination of origin. It runs along the coast from part of the Pontevedra estuary and the entire Arousa estuary, having the Umia River as its epicenter. I'm meeting with Javier Izurieta, who will take me around Pazo Señorans, a private family business totally focused on the Albariño grape.
Pazo Señorans, we make around like 250,000 bottles approximately, and those grapes, they come for 400 tiny plots. But we treat all these parcels individually.
Javier explains to me the different processes in the elaboration of this wine that stick to the philosophy: the less we touch it, the better the wine will be, for the wine is made in the vineyards.
Usually the one that we use is the cooling one, during the fermentation. Okay, we like to make fermentation around 16, 17 Celsius degrees, so just to keep this temperature we have to make circulate cool water just to keep this. So if we don't make this, the fermentation, it will be really turbulent. It's like cooking in really high fire. It's very turbulent. And we like slow cooking. Pop, 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 pop.
We leave the winery to enter the Pazo, and Javier shows me their Hórreo, a typical granary which is the second biggest private one in Galicia.
I don't know if you know, there is like a local sentence that says a Pazo. To become a Pazo, it has to have Hórreo, chapel, some people say pigeon house, and cypress pathways. Okay, so we are gonna check everything. But another curious thing about the Galician properties is like the double symbology. We have the Christian cross at the middle and the pagan symbols asking for fertility at the sides. Even having such a big chapel, they never forgot about the pagans. Okay, fertility has to be there.
I got it. So to be a Pazo, you must have a granary, a chapel, a pigeon house, and at least a cypress. At the chapel, Javier tells me the story of Marisol Bueno, the owner of the Pazo Señorans, the Queen of Albariño, and one of the founding members of the appellation of origin Rías Baixas, who has left a great legacy in the production of the wine and in the area. Javier shows me all the details in the construction and restoration and guides me through the 6 rooms of the Pazo, whose history runs from the 16th century to the present day.
These are called parladoiros. Parladoiros is something funny because in all Europe there's this kind of seats next to in the castles and all those things, and always the name is related to the word to talk. Another thing, just you were flying back to the 16th, keep going over that 16th, 17th, 18th century. So in these houses, they were really afraid. So the things that were not like nowadays. So all these houses, they have different security systems. Okay, all these houses, they are closing in one way. You see, all the walls, they have to put wood to block the doors, and all the houses closing to this way. Okay, so if they were attacked, they were getting in here. But even they have like a panic room. They were already panic rooms on the 17th century. There is no a new thing. So if they were attacked, they think that they come here, they get in this place.
He shows me an original portrait signed by the last king of Portugal, who hid in the Pazo before his exile.
They came here to kill him. He got high down here, and from here he escaped to London. This is like with a big hack. Manuel King, 1919, so it's part of the history here. So this is the typical Galician lagar. Those in that stone, it used to be a hole, okay? So they throw the grapes from outside in here. Kids usually, because like harvest used to be like a family party, okay? Step on that on barefoot, because pioneer. So here start to push the grapes, to press the grapes, and here start to collect the juice, okay? So these collect juice from both sides. First from here, when they can't get any more juice, stepping on with the feet, they move the pass to this place, okay? And this is the press. So they put all the pass over there, they cover with some woods, over the skins. And this is a never-ending screw. With the weight of the stone, this thing goes down, this goes over there and start to press the woods that you have here.
In the garden, Javier shows me the different plants and trees they have from all over the world, the facade of the Pazo with the love tree in their label, and many other curiosities like the past and current arrangements for purifying water.
This is the laundry machine. The laundry machine comes from this 19th century, okay? It's newer, but it's all these little more luxury things. They come on the 19th century when the corn comes from America, so they have a little more possibilities. Nowadays, we are on the 21st century. To solve the water problems, we make a I+D+I study with the La Coruña University. So it was something to reuse the water we use on the winery and the water we use here for the house and all that. So we develop vegetable water system depuration. Okay? So mainly there are some different pools with some different size of granite, and this works like communication thing. So then you have the plants, the water start to move from one pool to other, and at the end of the cycle, the water is clean, so we are able to use it for irrigate gardens or even to put it on the river.
In the vineyard, Javier talks to me about the way they grow Albarino.
What kind of conductive systems do you use?
So this is the historical and the main conductive system for the Albarino. Okay, we call it locally a parra. The people says that in Galicia we grow everything up in the parra. That's not true. That's only the Albarino. Other varieties are grown like in espaldier. Espaldier is vertical. This is horizontal, or even from the bottom, like the glass, or the cold glass. Okay, but the Albarino is the only variety that is grown like this historically. Okay, right now there's another wineries, the new plantations. The people is start to grow the Albarino on espaldier. When you grow on vertical, you are always looking for the south orientation to have as much hours of light as possible. Here you have the null. 6 years ago, right now, we start to make another I+D+I study just to know which are really the difference between these two growing systems, conduction systems. Okay.
Javier tells me that they planted 4 hectares of vine with the same soil and orientation, 2 of them with the pergola system and the other 2 in espalier, and then hired satellites to take photographs in order to check how they behaved and evolved with different treatments.
On espalier, on vertical, the investment is a 40% cheaper. That growing in pergola is a little more expensive. On pergola, on espalier, the 3rd year you already have yield. While in here you have to wait 4 or 5 years to have it up here and then start to driving. But so far, the balance of the plants, so far we still we prefer the parra. Okay.
My guide takes me to really understand the other particular thing about the Albarino from the Rías Baixas.
So it looks like a rock, but really it's not a rock. You just can take it and you see it becomes sand in your hand. And if you smell it, that minerality, that smoky notes, that's what the things appears on the wine when the wines are really old, okay? So most of the people drink Albarino when they are young. When the wines are young, they just show the notes from the variety. But when the wines get a little older, they start to show where they come from, the soil, the sabor, minerality. So this is the big secret, you see? So you see the color is quite clear. This is the typical, what the most of people have on their mind when they think on Albarino, okay? Crisp acidity. On the aromatic, the prescriptors, they used to say like it's green apple, citric notes. But for me, the most interesting about the Albarino is the mouth. If you put it on the mouth, you're gonna see how big is the wine. It's gonna cover the whole mouth. you're gonna feel something bitter on the sides that makes you salivate. That's invited you to drink again.
It's not that bad, but I can drink again.
That's about Albarino. And something that you're going to start to feel right now, even this wine is quite young, you're going to realize that when the wine starts to get older. Minerality. What remembers to you the minerality?
Yeah, the Sabre. The Sabre and the granite, of
Exactly,
course.
that's about Albarino.
And we talked about wine pairing and the other curiosities of the Pazo and toasting to the importance of the terroir.